Hey friends, I'm your host, Dr. Elizabeth Ssemanda, medical intuitive healer and life coach, and you are listening to the Stepping into Soul Power podcast, the podcast for people who understand that we are more than just our physical bodies. Here we explore healing and medical intuition, help you identify your blocks, and give you strategies to empower the soul in you. Friends, this is episode 6, and yes, we've got a treat. Have we got a treat for you? Yes. And so today we are going to do a twofer. It's a twofer. We are doing a short medical intuitive read, followed by an interview with Lauren Bess. Yes, once you meet her, you're gonna love her. And so with that, here you go. And we have a treat for you. We're going to be doing a short medical intuitive reading and follow that with a great interview with Lauren Bess. Lauren Bess, thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
Yes, and so if you're ready, then we'll get right to the healing, the reading. And so I always like to start by setting an intention, because it kind of centers us. And
yes.
And I'm gonna set an intention to connect with you, Lauren Bess, on a soul to soul level, and just see what comes.
I love that. I'm all about setting intentions and, being open to all the possibilities. So that's perfect.
Awesome. And I'm gonna ask you, okay, what is your intention?
Yeah, I think my intention is really just being open to this experience and for, new possibilities I hadn't ever imagined or couldn't have imagined when I, decided to chat with you and have this experience. I just want to stay super open-minded and be present as well.
Awesome. So let me connect and feel free to stop me if you have any questions or clarifications that are needed. And so we'll get started. And so the question that I'm asking is just to get a sense of like just a primary issue that you might be struggling with within yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And I tend to be more clairvoyant. I tend to get like my most of my intuitive information that I get is visual.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah,
I love it.
For whatever reason,
yeah,
my mind's eye is open. So I'm being drawn. I'm being drawn to your third chakra, your solar plexus area, that it's like the stomach kind of area.
Mm-hmm.
And
yes,
and I'm going to describe what I see like in the image, and I want you to think about what the image means to you. It really doesn't matter what I think. It's like what you think. And so there's an image, the image I'm seeing of you, you're standing up and you're at a chalkboard and you're writing a formula. You're writing, I think you write a little bit and then you erase. And then you write a little bit and then you're erasing. Mm-hmm. It's like in the sense that I'm getting is like maybe there is just maybe a smidge tendency to, there might be a little bit of second guessing going on, like whether you're doing the right thing, whether you're making the right decision.
Well, that's so interesting. Yeah, I can. Should I share right away or?
This is for you. I can keep going. There are more things going on, but like no, yes, share. We're here for it.
I like that, so spot on. I feel like I'm such an experimenter because I've been trying to let go of a lot of perfectionism, but then I'm still someone who I think when it comes to like I've been on this journey of aligning, working on my mindset to align with the
Yes.
actions I want to take. So, and I'm in this kind of experimental mode now of like wanting to write more. And
Yes.
instead of writing new things, I kind of have started just like repurposing and bringing to the surface a lot of the things I've already written, actually. So it's not exactly like the intention I had, but it's still, I think, bringing me closer to like what my goal is by kind of doing some of this other stuff first. So I'm definitely someone who will like write thoughts down with the intention of writing, something about it. And then I just don't. so, so yeah, I don't know that like, I mean, I feel like I could apply this to so many
Yeah.
different little snippets.
Yeah. Sometimes there are multiple levels to what I'm seeing. And it seems like the sense I'm getting, like this is maybe, something that's maybe um a longer standing thing, and maybe part of, I always like to, I'm asking about like the cause, like why is this,
Mm.
what is, and I'm the sense I'm getting is that like maybe that some of your family members, parents may have been just maybe a smidge critical, and
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
of you, and of themselves as well. And so
totally.
sometimes that tends to transfer over, like you soak, when we're young we just kind of soak in things like a
Mm-hmm.
sponge, and so like I'm sensing that they had like some perfectionistic tendencies
Yes.
as well. And what I see, like when I connect with you, is like you are, there are some people who are in tune to other people, like maybe in tune, and perceptive, a little more perceptive of others. and
Mm-hmm.
and this, like I'm feel like I want to say, like, just a smidge, like just a little more sensitive, easily affected by other people's energies. and
Oh,
and like
yeah.
for you, like if there's even a hint, like there's a hint that someone doesn't like something, like you could feel it, like you can
Oh,
feel it.
yeah. Big
um
time. Really, really like so much. It's caused me to like create a lot more boundaries in my life, like
yes.
which I never had or like knew I could have. So I have different little things that I am using now to try and protect that, but like I definitely can really sense other people's emotions, and especially when
Yes.
it comes to that, like you said, that dislike or them feeling like agitated or just like hurt or uncomfortable or whatever those kind of negative emotions are. I definitely pick up on them. Yeah.
Yes. And for you, um like you definitely, there, I'm sensing like there are definitely there's strengths, and that'll help, as you're going through this kind of like, and you've already made a lot of progress thus far, like, um it's like you're moving towards self-acceptance, self-compassion, self-love, the
Mm-hmm.
things, loving kindness exercises I see like might be helpful for you. But you've also got this, like, there's an innovative nature, using creativity to do things that cultivate self-love. Like that's the sense of
Yeah. I love that. Yeah.
yes. And so, um yeah, that's like the primary issue that I see. But you definitely have got a lot of strengths, and I want to kind of catapult on that, because I know, that you are doing amazing things right now. And
Oh.
yes. Yeah. Yes. And so I know, but the listeners don't know, and so we want you to tell us about you, about, you are a healer, you're, mental health advocate, you help people in the business world. And so we want to hear about you. So tell us about your journey.
Yeah. Well, thank you for just sharing all of that with me. I think it's just so powerful to have, this insight like that you just shared with me and what you saw. I'm always so grateful for people who can share those types of things. And I, don't have those superpowers, but I am leaning more into my own superpowers. So I loved how you were sharing that as well, because it has been such a journey to really, accept, to work towards self-acceptance, and also be on this journey of, turning some of my perceived weaknesses into superpowers, and doing a lot of mindset work to really, now being aware of how much, even little things in my childhood have really affected the way I show up in the world, or different parts of my confidence, or how I, have perfectionism tendencies, all those kind of things. Like, I've been trying to work really, really hard on figuring out, like, who am I? What do I want? How can I keep connected to my intuition, and just really be in a space where I can support me first so I can support others. So yeah, I think it really, there's a few different kind of milestone events that put me on this trajectory. And, if I can share a few of them. One was, I was living over in Singapore, working over there at the beginning of the pandemic, and was in a really not great work environment. And I ended up back in Canada, and, really lost, and just thought, oh gosh, I never thought I would be back, in my childhood room. And, so all these things just like were, and physically having a lot of different things manifest in my body. And now I'm like so much more in tune with my body, and just knowing that mind body connection. And that's always going to be a work in progress. But I found myself here, like, what are my next steps? I have no idea what I'm going to do. I feel like I'm really stuck. And I started just, learning more about myself, learning more about emotional intelligence, learned about hypnosis. I found the most magnificent hypnotherapist, and I've been working with her for so long now. I trained under her to actually become a certified hypnotherapist. And what led me there specifically was this desire of, like, I have this chance right now to do things my own way. Maybe the last, few environments I was in, like, my body was telling me before my mind that things are off. I was so, my body was so sensitive to what was around me. And I just knew, like, I can't go back to being, working for someone else and working this many hours. Like, I know I need more rest. I know I need to recover from burnout. Like, I get to do it my way, and this is my chance. I need to, like, seize this opportunity. And I just struggled. Like, when I tell you, my previous job, I was a business design consultant. A service designer. I helped other people design their businesses, their services. And I just, like, kept spinning in circles. And, it was, part of the perfectionism me, part of the multifaceted person I am, being like, which way do I go? Working through self-worth issues. And it was like, okay, there's very clearly something misaligned with my mindset and the action that I, or not even the action I want to take, because I was still experimenting, but, like, what is my idea of freedom and how do I want to live my life? So hypnosis totally, like, changed my world. And that's why I decided to become certified. And that was, like, such an accident, like, nothing's an accident, but it was like something I could have never imagined for myself. So that's why, like, it really was one of those things that showed me, like, I can never expect what's around the corner. I can visualize, I can, do different things that'll put me on the trajectory I want. But, like, I need to leave space for, like, the unimaginable to happen, because
I love that. Can I ask you that question? Because you said so, there was so much knowledge in there. I do want to ask you though, what what is your idea of freedom, and
Yeah.
how, yeah, maybe let's start with that.
Okay. So I think for me, like it really became clear when I put together a life recipe. And I do this with all my clients as well, whether they're
Ooh.
business clients or they're just individuals looking, for life support, like different support in their life. So I came up with this life recipe. It's like, what are all the things that bring me joy? What are all the things that, allow my inner child to just also be so joyful? What kind of lifestyle do I want? So for me, it's really just having like the freedom of time in the sense to, in the middle of my day, be able to meet up a friend for a walk or go for a coffee or
Yes.
be able to travel to different parts of the world and work from anywhere in the world and not really be tied to one environment and one place.
Yeah.
And with that, like freedom of being able to choose who I work with or what kind of projects I work on. I love collaboration. So that's like a big part of my work as well, like having spaciousness for that and being
Yeah.
able to, another little thing is like, I love going to online workshops. So like, I want to have that spaciousness as well to like sign up for a workshop on a Wednesday at, 2 p.m. or whatever it is, like just have that freedom of time, freedom of energy is one that I'm continuously working on in terms of
Yeah.
just learning the ebbs and flows of my energy and trying to honor them. Like it really has been such a process for me. And, sometimes I'm not always the best at being proactive. So that's a big part that I'm still working on, but it's
Yeah.
something I'm now so self-aware of and just like, my energy is worth it to rest or be in the environments or connect with the people that are going to bring out the best in it and not drain me and all those kind of things. And just having, for me as well, is like really changing, I guess, having this freedom in my mindset to be able to like just see things differently and also be
Yeah.
open to always changing my perspective. And there's so much within that I could dive into, but it's really like I really try and look at it at so many different perspectives and parts of my life because for everyone their idea of freedom is different, but even
Yeah.
like personally I feel like you can have so many different angles and so many little ingredients that really create this bigger picture of freedom that is the life that you want to live and you can live because you get to make it up and no one really tells you that you can just make it up. So
Oh wow. Oh, I love it. I love it. And I guess I'm curious about your work with clients, and you had mentioned like you're creating a life recipe with them. Can you take us through, like, I guess, how do you incorporate that? What's your
Mhm.
process?
Yeah, so and maybe this is actually really interesting because the first vision I think that you saw too was like, me writing things and then erasing it and writing something new. And I think that's
Yeah.
also been a big part of me figuring out like how is it I can be of service to other people, but how can
Yeah.
I like even word it in a way that makes sense to the people that I want to support. So that's, also
Yeah.
always a journey and that's also always changing when it comes to like even how I write my bio or all those different things. So
Yes.
I've been able, I think more recently to kind of like create different buckets as much as I'm, can work in so many different ways. I think being super multifaceted and creative, I like needed to give myself buckets where I could be creative almost inside of those buckets. So I work
Yes.
typically in like 2, 3 different ways. So one of which is I work with, if someone has both a business and are wanting to work on their self-development, we really do like a mix of hypnosis and mindset work with business coaching
Ooh.
and strategy. So, some folks meet with me twice a month.
Yes.
Some meet with me once a month for a little bit longer of sessions. And I really, wanted to be able to meet people where they are within the
Yes.
containers that felt good for me as well, because everyone's so different. We all need different types of support at different parts of our journey. So with
Yes.
solopreneurs, that I mainly work with solopreneurs or creative entrepreneurs, and depending where they
Yes.
are, it's like, they might need a lot more mindset support, and they might be in this part of their journey where they're really wanting and needing to really connect the two. And then I have other clients who are just like, we talk about their business a little bit, but it's really like they've gotten to this place where they're, have a really great subconscious practice, and they're manifesting all these
Yes.
things. And, everyone is really
Yes.
different. And then I work another really special thing that I've started doing more recently as well are these like intensive sessions. So for folks who are also more on the business side of things, wanting to, get all the clutter out of their mind, really make probably one, maybe sometimes two little shifts or one big change in their work to find more ease and flow. We do like a strategy session, and we then at the end of it, it's like a 3-hour intensive experience. And then we do a beautiful hypnosis session together. And then I support them for the next 30 days. So that's kind of like what it looks like in terms of the different containers. But, we touch upon things from, what are your superpowers, and how do you want to experience sharing them with the people that you want to serve, and what kind of experience can you design for them? So it might go into like their, systems and operations that are happening behind the scenes that will help them save, more time or more energy, or it might go into the way they market themselves and, coming up with non-traditional ways of marketing that feel authentic to them. Or it might be coming up with, what is a new service that would feel really good to you based on like the passions that you have, and, really keeping you in your genius zone. So there's so many possibilities within it. And it's really just supporting people where they are to really align the action they want to take with, their mindset that will help them get there and really embrace, who it is they want to be and what it is they want to do, and leave room for that creativity and the unexpected to happen as well.
I love that. I love just, it's like you're tailoring your approach to the individual. And that it's honestly, it's breathtaking. I realize that some of our listeners may not be quite sure what hypnosis is. So I'm wondering if you just give us your definition of what hypnosis is, and what, and like why you chose, to incorporate that particular approach.
Yeah, absolutely. I love how you said that, like my particular definition, because of course I have made my own definition of what it means to me, and like kind of the approach that I use it, because it really is I see it as such a mindset tool that just allows people to really relax to a place where, the suggestibility of the hypnotherapist just sharing different suggestions really gives you like the space and guidance to be able to really connect with your subconscious mind, to surpass that critical mind that's like always turned on at the forefront, that is only, 10% of our mind. So through hypnosis, we can really connect to that subconscious mind. We can access, different stories or events that happen in our life that might be really impactful for, now blocking us in certain aspects of our life, or have given us certain limiting beliefs, or are just, not necessarily the stories that we, the stories that would really support us in going where we want to go. So we can access all of those. We can move through different blocks. We can, rewrite some of those stories. We can thank them. We can send them on their way. And, it's all such a different experience for everyone. And I know some people can be really fearful when it comes to, accessing their subconscious mind. Like, I don't want to deal with it, or I don't want to like face this story, or I'm not ready. And the best part about it is like, you don't have to, like, you can, but if you're not ready to face something, like, it gets to be your experience, and it can be something that when you're ready, we can come back to. So I think that's like one of the biggest things that I hear from people in terms of just like, not feeling ready or not feeling like they're in a place where they want to deal with everything yet. And, it gets to be your experience, whether it's, this fear of, am I going to be controlled, or is my mind weak if I like am easily hypnotized? And like, it's the exact opposite. Again, like no one can, make you do anything you wouldn't already like want to do if you were outside of hypnosis. And, like if someone, which, typically if you have a good hypnotherapist, they won't just like start leading you in different directions. Like, it's our job. And what I love about it is being so present and being able to guide someone on their journey. But it's really about, being present, and just our subconscious minds will always show us what we need to see. And that's like the best part of it.
I love that. Our subconscious minds will always show us what we need to see. Yes. Because it's so true. It's so true.
It is.
And as you're, as you're doing your work, are there any underrated tools that you use that are indispensable to your job?
I think, there's so many. I think that, just like in terms of like being self-aware, I think and in many aspects, I feel like now I've created a lot of kind of like little rituals that really either like center me into different, parts of my work. So like before a hypnosis session, there's like a certain space, once I become nomadic, it'll probably change as well. But, I've been in like one or two of the same environments for the last few months working with patients, and I work online as well, or clients. Sorry. And it's just like getting my environment, and maybe this is actually across every part of my work. I'm so sensitive to my environment. So like having things cleaned up, or like some of my most beautiful like teapots on display over there, or like having my beautiful, glass with some nice tea. And there's like little things like that I do to just like bring more joy and like a centeredness to within my environment. And then I think it's just like now I've created different systems for myself. Like, if it's different tools in terms of like making things easier and just creating like some more connectivity between some of the programs I have been using. But I think when it comes to like this work that I'm doing and aligning the mindset and, even just being present with, even if it's not hypnosis sessions and we're just doing strategy, is just being able to ask the right questions and knowing like I, as a guide, don't have all the answers, and I shouldn't, because I'm supporting someone else, and, it gets to be it's their experience, and I need to be able to ask them the right questions, or, suggest different things that would give them the option to like find the answers within themselves. So that's not necessarily a tool, but I guess it's an approach.
An approach can be an approach can be it's a tool. It is a tool that you use. And I want to, I guess, maybe dig a little bit deeper and ask about, we all have people who inspire us. And I want to ask you about like, who's been the most important professional mentor or inspiration as you've been on this journey?
Yeah, I feel really lucky to have like a really great, group of women that I like go to for different things. And I'd say like Mahesha Gunner, who is my hypnotherapist, my, taught me hypnotherapy, certified me, is my mentor. Like, she is someone, and it's really funny where we have completely, we come from different parts of the world, and we live in different parts of the world now, and we just have such a like great connection and soul connection, and like so many similarities. It's just really cool to have, that person that's not only cheering you on, but really believing in you and has kind of walked the path
Yeah.
before me. Like, she's like 10 plus years ahead of me in, this industry, and, being a successful hypnotherapist. And then I also have Lydia Lee, who's my business coach, who her business is called Screw the Cubicle. So when I was figuring out like, okay, I need to not go back to a desk job. Like I need to make my own business. I started working with her, and she's someone who really like her focus is on designing a small but mighty business. And that was like, kind of one of the first times I saw someone doing things really differently, because I was in such a world before where it was like, even if it was a small business, they had like this team and all these things. And she's the first person I really saw as like, okay, solopreneurship can really be an option for me, because it really supports, my desire to do things simply and to, do things my own way. So they have been like really instrumental in my journey. And I think it's just also all of the people I've met along the way. Like I love connecting with new people at different, networking events and different places. So just being able to really be open to meet people I never would have met in real life, because, we've been meeting online for the last few years, is just, really, really, been, I think, really, sorry, I'm trying to look for the right words of just like, being able to like bring out different parts of me just from, making those different connections. So it's been really interesting.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, I mean, it's amazing just how like we interact and can really how another person can affect our lives and how we
Mm-hmm.
experience the world. I do want to ask you just about, oh, well, sorry.
No
I
worries.
said,
It just froze a little bit, but
yeah. I was like, hold on, what's going
we
on?
can edit it out.
Oh,
What's
please.
even my last answer at the end of it?
Yes. So I guess I want to ask you for our listeners, if you could just give us there are many things that you do. Just if you could give
Mm-hmm.
our listeners one tip, something that they could use to empower themselves to step into their
Mm-hmm.
soul power, like what would that tip be?
I think it would be taking moments to check in with yourself, whether it's like creating
Mm.
a certain ritual that you can set up to like, because it doesn't always come naturally. Like if you're in a certain place where you're just go, 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 or just haven't, had the habit of stopping and checking in with your body, your mind, your heart, start some sort of practice of setting timers, or, a certain time of the day before bed or in the morning, just check in, see what it is your body is telling you, your heart is telling you, and just start in your mind and just start to kind of make those connections, so that you can, adapt the things that will make your body feel better, or your mind or your heart, and, see what they tell you. Because even if you don't have the gift of clairvoyancy or, deep visualization, you'll be able to really, start connecting back to yourself.
Yeah. Yes. And I guess I also want to ask, just I know we're running late on time, but what's one question you wish I had asked, and how would you have answered it?
Hmm. I don't think of a question, but something I would love to kind of comment on or expand on a little bit is,
Yes.
you started sharing by like your gift of, visualization and clairvoyancy. And, if someone who's listening to this who even struggles to like visualize a little bit within your mind. Like, there's different ways that we can really begin to manifest
Yes.
or, just begin to like start changing what our reality could be. So for instance, like I definitely have noticed that I feel emotions more in my body. And even when it comes to hypnosis, like the first time I did it, I was like, I'm really not like visualizing anything. And a lot of people, are able to really visualize and see things in hypnosis. And, not everyone does, and that's totally okay. There's different things. That's
Yes.
kind of why I mentioned like, we can check in with different parts of our body or our mind or our heart, because,
Yes.
if you're someone who does struggle to visualize, there's other ways of doing it. But I guess this goes back to the last thing you asked. Maybe I should have had a different answer, but, you can kind of train your brain to also visualize. I love listening to hypnosis audios, and it's become a big part of my work as well to create those for other people so that they can begin visualizing, and then they can, our brains are a muscle and we can train our brains as well.
Yes.
So, give it a go, look up, a hypnosis audio online, or I have some available as well, but, just experiment with visualization. Maybe there's other ways as well that you want to just, begin to work that muscle and connect to your mind a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, you're so right. We all get information in different ways. Like, I'm more clairvoyant, but like, it sounds like you're more clairsentient, and you feel, you sense, and that's beautiful. There are other people who like, they're more of auditory. They hear,
Right.
that's how they, they're really in tune with music. And some people just like know or
Right.
claircognizance. So there are many ways of knowing. But I'm just really just in awe of like this beautiful combination of skills, modalities that you're putting together and offering to people. And I'd like, for you to tell our audience, like if they are interested in connecting with you, tell them, how can they do that? What, how can they find you?
Yeah, I love that. And I want to say as well, clairsentient, I'll have to look up. I've never heard that word before. So thank you for sharing that with us. But the best way to find me is definitely on my website, which is lauren-best.com. And I do group hypnosis sessions. They're at a donation basis. So if anyone's interested to try hypnosis and they haven't tried, or they, are curious or have tried hypnosis, you can join. I do them twice a month. And then I also have, and I'm in the process of adding even more hypnosis audios onto Insight Timer. So you can find me on Insight Timer at laurenbest_co.
Yeah. I have to dance because I love Insight Timer. I just did my last podcast. I was saying like Insight Timer is so good. I'm not getting paid, but it's good. So I love that you're on it. It's such a great app. And I love that you're just really it feels like you're helping people in so many different ways. And I just want to add, like, there's a lot of power in being in a group. And so I love that you're offering group hypnosis sessions. Like, that's so awesome.
It's
so
so
awesome.
fun. I love and they are small groups as well. Like typically there's not more than 7 people that will come to these sessions. So it is really intimate. And I've realized like almost, the less, the better, because the more we can open up, the more I see people connect, the more I see people share their experiences. And it's like, I leave just like totally vibrating. I just feel so good. And, just knowing that someone has shown up feeling a certain way and they leave, feeling more easeful or with more clarity or more relaxation or confidence it really like life-changing for me as well. So I love it. But I share all of that, like any dates for these sessions or any new, hypnosis audios or insight timer, I should share that I blast them all out to my newsletter. So that's kind of my main form of communication. So you can also find on my website a place to subscribe to my newsletter as well.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. Well, I'd like to thank you. Thank you so much, Lauren
Thank you,
Best.
Elizabeth. This is amazing.
It was fun for being on this show. And so Lauren Best, if any last words for our audience.
Any last words?
Yes.
I think it's just, your worth, you as an individual are worth to explore, what it is that brings you joy in your life, and the superpowers that you have within yourself can really, not only light you up, but can also be of such service to other people. So don't stop trying to embrace your superpowers, to find your genius zone, and just know whatever it is, that can, just bring you a lot of joy and so much impact to the world. So never stop experimenting and searching for it as well.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And yeah, so we'll make sure we're going to post your contact information when we post the podcast episode. But we are so blessed to have you on the show, and I'm sure that you're welcome. And I'm sure our listeners will want to get in contact with you.
Amazing. Well, I just thank you so much for your insight and how you help people, because I know having, speaking with, people who have these gifts and this insight has also been so life-changing for me at different parts of my life. So just thank you for sharing your gifts with all of us. It just means so much.
You're welcome. Friends, wasn't that great? Yes, it was wonderful talking to Lauren Best. She is doing some wonderful healing work, and you know what, friends, it's time. It's time. It's time for our soul power statement for the week. Yes, yes. And so this week, our soul power statement of the week is: I am free to do things my way and create the life recipe that brings me joy. And you know what comes to mind with this episode, with the statement, with this soul power statement of the week, is a quote from the author Mark Twain. And it goes something like this: 20 years from now, you will be more disappointed by the things you didn't do than by the ones you did do. So throw off the bowlines, sail away from the safe harbor, catch the trade winds in your sails, explore, dream, and discover. All right, friends, we come to the end of our time. And you know what? We'd love to hear from you. Write a review. Let us know how we're doing. Write a comment below and subscribe to our podcast. We are here to create content that resonates with you. And if you're interested in your own personal medical intuitive reading or on being on the podcast, send us a message. Go to soulinyou.com, SOULINYOU.com, and connect with us. Let us know. And finally, if no one has told you this today, I will. Thank you for being authentically you. The soul in me honors the soul in you.
Disclaimer, this podcast is for spiritual and or entertainment purposes and is not a substitute for medical diagnosis, healthcare treatment, or professional advice. Each person is so unique, so please consult your healthcare professional for any medical questions.